Utah fans, your squad finally put together 4 quarters of Utah football. Big win for Utah. On Stanford side, you're probably sitting there thinking, damn, why do we have to play Utah this week of all weeks? They finally pieced it together. Why couldn't we have them earlier in the year? But nevertheless, a game that could change the course of the Pac-12 conference, both north and south. We'll look at a Stanford special, the red zone fade ball, something they've torched all their opponents on all year long, except for Utah. But what did Utah do differently? We'll dive into that, and we'll see how that influenced later on in the game Utah's ability to get after the passer. We'll check out both those factors in this week's breakdown. Let's get it going. We're going to start with a little reminder. A reminder of what Stanford has done to its previous opponents.
End zone shot, and no signal yet. There it is, touchdown.
Costello looking for the end zone. There it is, that typical Stanford play. You know it's coming, you can't stop it.
You guys heard Chris Fowler. A typical Stanford play, you know it's coming, but you can't stop it. And he's been right all year long. Until the Utes came along.
Post up, looking for our...
Max, I'm not sure, man. That's just a bad ball by KJ Costello. All right. All right.
To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
End zone, short, and it's a house call for Utah!
A huge pick six for Utah. Puts all the momentum on their side. But yeah, it may not be the best throw in the world, but if you go back and look at all those fade balls that KJ Costello has thrown touchdowns on all year long, none of them are great throws. But that's because Stanford teaches it differently. They don't teach the fade route over the shoulder. They teach it, hey, just throw the ball up like a rebound. Have our guys go up and get the ball.
He is a showman. No, change my mind. Right back, though. Okay, right back to you. Okay, give it back again. You got it? No, right back. No.
So yeah, this isn't the best throw in the world, but that's what they've done all year long. Utah's just the first secondary group to say, hey, we're not going to stand for this. We're not just going to get bullied around and boxed out and out-rebound. We're going to go up and get the thing and make a play, and that's exactly what they did here. But let's look at execution-wise. What is Utah doing differently that other teams are not to put themselves in a position to defend this type of play in the red zone? When we look at the overall structure of the defense, we're going to see a 4-3 defense with 2 safeties and 2 corners. What's important to note is Jalen Johnson, Utah's corner on the top of the screen, he's in an off-bail technique with outside leverage. And the reason he's able to have outside leverage is he has help inside with that safety. Any in-breaking route, any slant by Arcega-Whiteside, that safety is going to jump it. And so Johnson has help inside, so he's saying, hey, all I'm worried about is the fade ball. Utah's defensive coordinators, all he's worried about is the fade ball. Time and time again, Stanford has thrown this play. They haven't once shown a slant or any of that. Stanford's mindset is, we're going to throw this fade ball time and time again until you can consistently prove that you can defend it. And that's exactly what Utah does. And when we roll this play, Johnson's just going to back up like a center fielder in baseball, like he's tracking a fly ball, and then jump up and try to catch the ball at the highest point. But what Utah's able to do is, since they have bigger corners, Johnson's 6 foot 190. On the other side, Blackman's 6 foot 190. These are bigger bodied corners, so they're not getting pushed around as much. But technique-wise, Utah's coaching it differently. Utah is saying, hey, we're not playing the man. We're not playing the body. We're not turning our shoulders. We're not turning away. No, we know it's coming. We're going to back up. We're going to set our ground, and we're going to go be the receiver. We're going to go tack the ball, and we're going to make the play. All year long, you've seen normal DB technique of jamming and getting in the receiver's chest and trying to fight with him, and then right when it's a fade ball, try to attack through the hands to dislodge the ball. But that's not what Utah did, and it allowed them to have success today. But Max, what if my team doesn't have that personnel? What if our corners are short, little, quick guys? It doesn't matter. To me, when you're playing Stanford and they are time and time again throwing this red zone fade ball, put your tallest, most athletic receiver at the DB position. This could be a tight end. This could be a safety, but put height and size out there over speed and quickness. Every Pac-12 receiver, I'd be willing to bet, played some sort of DB in high school. So they'll be fine out there. But what you can't allow Stanford to do is just box you out and bully you around with shorter, smaller corners. You have to adjust, and I think Utah has set the blueprint for the rest of the Pac-12 as to how to defend Stanford in the red zone. And just for good measure, we'll give Julian Blackman some love as well, as he also did the same exact technique and had a similar result. Not a pick six, but a PBU for the Utah Utes.
Costello goes to the other side, looking for one of those big tight end. Good coverage by Julian Blackmon.
All right, Max, so our corners are big and physical, and they're able to make a few plays in the red zone because of their size. But how does that help me in the rest of the game? It helps you in the rest of the game because when your corner is able to physically match up with Stanford, you don't have to offer safety help over the top. You can say, all right, corners, we're going to put you on an island. You guys go fend for yourself, while the rest of us, we're going to go rush the passer. And that's exactly what Utah is able to do, is they're able to say, all right, Johnson and Blackmon, you guys are on your own.
That's suicide. The cube is raw power. It could destroy you both. A necessary sacrifice.
Everyone else, we're going and rushing the passer.
Autobots, roll out. We roll.
So let's go check out a few examples of how the red zone effectiveness of their corners translated to success in the blitz packages throughout the game.
Including against Jerry Tillery, who blew up the O-line of Stanford. And Costello being chased here by Chase Hansen.
A very timely sack by Chase Hansen, as this is a 3rd and 8. Stanford's driving. They're in Utah's territory. So to get off the field, this is huge. But hey, let's learn a little football. This is what you call a green dog blitz. I gotta admit, I have no idea why it's called that. Hopefully it's not something inappropriate. And what does that mean? That means that, hey, Chase Hansen has the running back in man coverage. And the second he sees the running back stay in pass protection, he triggers and blitzes. Because he has the running back in man coverage, if the running back is staying into pass pro, there's no work for Chase Hansen in pass coverage, so he's going to get after the quarterback. And you can see the level of experience with Chase Hansen because he recognizes that real quick. There's a beat of hesitation, and then he triggers. And so that's news for the quarterback. That's a question that KJ Costello should be asking his quarterback coach in meetings is, hey, is this a green dog team? Do I need to be aware if my running back stays in for pass pro that I got an extra body coming to blitz? This is a scheme win by Utah, a great design by their defensive coordinator, and a great job getting off the field for the Utes. Now let's see how Utah's blitzing scheme impacted Stanford in the running game.
Tonight. Oh, wow. Scarlett blown up by Chase Hansen.
There's probably a bunch of names for this blitz, but for me, this was called a Cowboy Blitz. C for corner, W for Will. Both of those guys are coming. And it's a very timely call by Utah staff because they're able to shoot a gap when Stanford's running power to the opposite side. That's awfully hard for Stanford's line to get back to Chase Hansen blitzing. So you can see, once again, Utah's mentality of hey, leave our corners on an island. Let's bring the house. Let's bring some pressure. We're now going to watch 4 consecutive Utah plays where they elect to blitz 7 guys. And just simple numbers there. If you're blitzing 7, you only have 4 in pass coverage. So understand that, yeah, you might be rolling the dice, but when you're Utah and you're Kyle Whittingham, you're saying, all right, I don't care. My corners are elite. I'll bring the house on 3rd down, get after the quarterback, and see what happens.
Blitz from Utah. No time for Costello, who flung it into the hands of a Utah defender. Costello gets hit. Here it comes again. That ball's loose, and the Utes have it.
4 huge sacks and a lot of turnovers along the way. When we look at that first play again, Utah is going to start with a cover 1 shell. It looks like they're man across the board, and then on the snap of the ball, they time it very well. They're going to cover 0. Which means, like I said, they're bringing 7. The safety that's in the middle of the field is now going to have the inside slot on man coverage, and they're saying, hey, beat us in the pass game. Show us you can get the ball out quick. KJ Costello doesn't do that, and a huge interception turnover for Utah. When we look at this second one, once again, Utah is saying, hey, screw it. Bring the house, bring 7. Costello's got to recognize, hey, this ball's got to come out. I have 6 blockers. They're bringing 7. Something's got to give. I got to get this ball out. But to me, it's a poor job by the entire offense because they're leaving a guy who's on the line unblocked. To me, pick that guy up, whether that's a tackle, whether that's a running back, pick the guy on the end lineup and force the safety to come from depth and make a play. Those are little things. I'm not sure the exact scheme, but nevertheless, Utah's ability to put pressure on Stanford forced them to not execute. When we go back and look at this very last blitz, it's going to remind you a lot of the red zone interception blitz. In that Utah lines up like they're in cover 1, man across the board. It looks like the defender in the slots covering the number 3 receiver. But on the snap of the ball, they time it and very well. Great job by Utah's defensive staff. they go to cover 0. In that, the defender covering up the slot elects to blitz. The safety rolls down into cover 0. And once again, I don't want to be a broken record, but Utah's putting their corners and their safeties on an island, man on man, no help over the top, and saying, all right, KJ Costello, beat us with your arm. And here, Utah got the best of them. Another sack, fumble, and a huge turnover for Utah. This was a game I did not watch live. I was just getting updates on my phone, and so when I saw the score, I was like, dang, Utah really got after Stanford. So to watch the game, it was fun to break down and see actually how they did it. And how they do it? By way of the Utah football we've all come to know. Run the ball, play great defense, and have your quarterback make a few big throws throughout the game. But when Utah's playing well, the rest of the Pac-12 needs to look out, especially teams in the South. The South that's wide open. If Utah beats a few people, they'll be right back in the hunt.